We've been walking now for, I guess, going on an hour, maybe a little bit more. Collecting some driftwood here and some things to, I'll do a project. It's very relaxing, you know, beach combing and picking up cool driftwood and shells and things. It just, one thing you know, what can I do with that? I think it must stimulate my dopamine or serotonin or something, but I feel significantly calmer than I did when I woke up. And I love that. There's a lot of cool driftwood on this beach, and it's really some pretty cliffs over there. Kind of taking seriously, you know, my commitment I made was last week or the week before to try and spend any days that I have off outside of the city. Of course, the gas is going to be a problem. I'm already down to a quarter tank, and I'm 9 days away from a paycheck, so I'm going to be seeing that fuel light on probably by the end of the weekend for sure. And, you know, gas was down as low as $1.56 or something at Costco this winter, and $1.66 or 67 everywhere else. It's now up to $2.06. I think they gouged us for the last few weeks in anticipation of the 23% increase on the carbon tax. So yeah, I can't see any other reason. They just started gouging us. And now, so it bumped up from in the 190s to $2.06 per liter, apparently like yesterday or today. So yeah, life is just getting that much more expensive. I mean, and it's already fairly dire, right? My existence. So it's going to get even harder. And less ability to escape the city, which means that I'm parking more often, which means my RV will be noticed more by neighbors, which means I'm more at risk for getting phone calls to the city and knocks for bylaws. And it's like, can I work here? Can I live here? Because, you know, I'm pretty sure rural areas need minimum wage workers too. Plus it doesn't feel safe most of the time. There was someone on Cook Street, 6:30 p.m., which was still daylight, got robbed with a knife. Like Cook Street Village, you know? She health-oriented Cook Street Village. So now I wouldn't have been shocked of that more close to downtown, but it was a bit of a shocker to hear that, especially that time of day. And then of course I had my own experience of a 4 a.m. knock that was a super creepy knock. I don't know that I want to get into it, because if that person happens to be following my page, I don't want to give them that validation. However, let's just suffice it to say that a 911 call was made because the intentions were not good from what I could tell. And thank goodness for the dogs. Thank goodness for the girls. But it is a beautiful day. Beautiful morning. I did not wake up feeling good at all. And I have to say I feel pretty all right now. There really is something to be said. Hey there, girly in the woods. I love her, man. Brooke Whipple. Amazing. Get outside and get happy. She gone. Anyway, if you haven't seen her channel, check it out. I mean, you know, she's doing her chainsaw and she's, you know, building shit, and, you know, she's happily married, and she has an outdoorsy husband with a channel as well, and she was on Alone season 6. I was following her way before that though, and I still haven't seen Alone season 6, but I'm looking forward to it. I watch Alone now with one of my friends when we get together. She's got internet access somehow to it all, and then so we're watching slowly the Alone seasons. Yeah, so it's turning into a much better day. I called into my on-call job and said I'm changing everything up. I'm giving up a job at the deli, and I'm opening up Mondays and Fridays to be on call now. So a bit of a risk, but you know, I've already taken this huge leap of faith to come out here. Hasn't been working out that well, I admit. A lot of shitty times that I think I bore quite well initially, but I am now getting worn down by it, and I'm really ready for a break. I'm really ready for a break. But there are some good things on the horizon that give me a reason to hope. So I am starting another new job on the weekend at an inn. And you know, I always loved being an innkeeper. When I was on Airbnb, I had an inn home, several rooms like that, so I shared my whole space with my guests, and I hosted people from everywhere. And sometimes there was international students. I was the first place they ever landed in Canada. They literally left home in their country, flew into Toronto Airport, and then ended up at my Airbnb in Peterborough. So, I mean, they were amazing people. I'm still in touch with some, and I loved being an innkeeper. So I'm really excited about starting at an inn, and hopefully one day that will work me into being an innkeeper, or at least part-time innkeeper, the relief innkeeper. So there's some things to be excited about for sure, and not getting totally rained on and not having to do too much yelling at the dogs this morning certainly helped me settle in, and finding shells and things helped me settle into the day. And then I've now been called in for a shift. Yay! Whoa! So, oh boy. Fingers crossed, eh? And keep pressing on. So I won't have any time to do a little project. I won't have time to kind of start the project. You know, maybe there's a couple of projects that are going to come out of, you know, my collections today. I like this. I always love the pattern, you know, of whatever creature it is that manages to create these little tunnel thingies. Anyway, so I won't get to do that. But I will get to make some money, chat with some peoples. Oh my God, the dog! She's never gone in that deep. I wonder if she's gonna turn into a swimmer. Oh my God, Rosie, look at you go, girlfriend. And you're getting Sadie in there. Well, if they become swimmers, it'll really help with the hot weather. Amazing. Look at you, Rosie. Don't drink too much of that water, you'll get the shits. A further comment I have about recent life experience is that, quite honestly, Vancouver Island, South Vancouver Island here in and around Victoria, it truly, truly sucks in terms of people being highly, highly stressed. And I mean, there used to be the people that were like highly, highly germophobic type stressed, health conscious people, you know, and to each their own. If people feel a greater sense of wellness and security wearing 2 masks at this point in 2024, like I feel for them, and you know, that's their right. And I just think, oh my gosh, there's just way too many people doing it. There can't be that many people that are just post-transplant or that are that vulnerable. So I just feel like, you know, they must be just suffering a terrible fear of death, mortality, whatever it is, you know. And I mean, I just wouldn't want to walk around. Like, I know it sucks getting the flu and, you know, you're on your back for a few days, you're feeling like crap. You know, and even COVID, you know, I was on my back for 3 days and half on my back on the 4th day and a quarter on my back on the 5th day, and sort of really to bed super gosh darn early for like 2 weeks, probably sleeping 12 hours or something, you know, to sleep it off. But the point is, in spite of my pre-diabetes, in spite of my high blood pressure, in spite of my being overweight, it wasn't that bad for me. And so just that feeling, like for me, when if I can sit while wearing a mask, it's not so bad. But oh my gosh, it's almost like major claustrophobia, and like I feel like if I'm trying to walk, I feel like I can't breathe. And you know, as a former nurse, I used to wear the N95 when I was working with somebody with tuberculosis. And you know, but sadly, you get in there and out of there as quick as you can, because I just remember when SARS-1 came along, I had to wear the mask while trying to work, and I had major headaches. And then some of the respiratory technicians who are able to test for these sorts of things, they tested the level of CO2 inside the masks, inside their masks, and they found them to be 80 millimeters of mercury. And the upper end for our blood to maintain a stable pH is 45 millimeters of mercury. So we were probably retaining excess CO2, and that's, you know, a lot of the staff were complaining of headaches. And there was a woman I was working with who she had to limit how much she was speaking because she would get too short of breath. So overall, I don't want to live like that 100% of the time to reduce my risk by we don't know how much, right? Because since 2020, I have not been overly concerned about whether or not I get it. And I have had it twice. I got it twice from people that had followed the thing that they were supposed to follow twice or 3 times. And both times, once was at work, someone who had followed all of those recommendations, it's who I got it from. And the first time it was someone also who had followed the recommendations that I got it from. So I'm just, you know, no offense to anyone who believes strongly in that, because I think that's your right, you know, and I respect you in whatever way that you want to live your life. So I hope you can understand that, I don't know, just being able to walk around and breathe freely, it means a lot to me. And I still see people actually outside wearing them, and there's a lot of that in Victoria. So that's, since the pandemic, that became all very apparent, and that's, but there's something else. There's another thing that I've become aware of Victoria, and that is that there must have been a huge influx of people from big cities, because the amount of road rage and honking and even yelling and getting the finger has gone up, in my mind, exponentially. I've always been, especially in the city, very, very cautious driver, like maintain the speed limit, observe any areas with a lot of people, cars, pedestrians. I tend to go on the slow side of normal. So I've always attracted a certain amount of what do you call it? I don't want to say rage, because it hasn't really been rage. Like, I irritate people, I know, but I don't even get, once in a while I get honked at in Toronto, and one of the most fast-paced cities, but here it's a whole other level. It's like everybody's in such a hurry. And I think that is unfortunate, because I feel like I'm in the process of unwinding from the rat race. And I told someone recently that basically around 2020 I retired from the rat race. I can't retire. I'm now working a deli job, far less well compensated, but I'm rarely in a super rush to get anywhere. And whenever I do have to kind of rush, it really stresses me out. I just can't do it. Not often. So if I was ever, Rosie, don't drink that. You're gonna get the shits. Anyway, just the amount of people. Whenever I drive over the Malahat, because there's a section of about 7 kilometers, I clocked it. Maximum 7.4 kilometers where it's single lane. And it's windy, and there's signs, squiggly that say do 60K. And I do for those corners. Especially since I'm in an RV, which is more subject to tipping than your typical vehicle. People honk every time. The finger. I got the extended finger. This woman was giving me the finger for so long that somebody else was even in between her and me, so she's giving everybody the finger. So the amount of frustration, anger, yelling, aggression that I've experienced since being out here, I don't even know that I want to be here long term. This place is so different than what it used to be when my daughter was born. And I lived here 30 years ago. It was really like a lot more chill and laid back. Yeah, and things have just gone a bit mental. Maybe the world has gone mental. There's a thought. Well, we have walked way down the beach. So I guess since I don't like rushing, it might be time for us to turn around. But anyway, these girls are gonna be good and tired. That is for sure. So they will sleep well when I'm at work. Come on, you silly, stop drinking that. Don't. Rosie, don't drink it. Don't drink it. Silly. Oh boy, potential mess when I get off work, but we'll see. Come on, silly. There's water back at the RV. Let's go. Come on. Come on, baby. Well, bye for now. And thank you Thank you for watching. For anyone who's out there, thank you for your comments. And I truly love making videos. Oh, there go the girls running down towards dogs. Better get ready for the barking. Have a good one. Till next time. Take care. Down for the count.